day that offered so much promise when it started ended with a pissed off me. Welcome to Fortune Mine. This is the review of the Brighton game that took place yesterday. Gents, as I said, it started out with so much promise. Very upbeat after the performance that we saw against Arsenal in midweek. It's essentially what we saw yesterday, Andy.
Yeah, it's a very frustration part of it is sometimes when you come out of games and you're like, yeah, we didn't deserve anything of that, and we'll talk further of like the miss which could have probably put the game to bed. But I'm going to start off. I'll give Moyes. I'll put the starting 11 up. I gave him credit the fact that he went for it. He went for it. He could have easily, and I'm going to slate him later, but obviously this is beforehand. Obviously I've done that quick 2 minutes. I was like, I like the look of this team. Like he could have easily sat back. Obviously Zuma missing was a big bit. He could have put him Carer in and gone to a back three or anything, and he actually went for it. So I've got to give him credit for that part of it.
Yeah. I mean, Steve, saw the lineup come out just over an hour before kickoff. Were you like Andy, happy with what we saw? I mean, I'll be honest, I was.
Yeah, I was as well. I didn't want Antonio at the start, but I never do. He's just a given. I was pleased Will Prowse was captain. I thought that was a good choice. He's got experience of that. Two up front. Well, I never thought I'd see the day. It left us a bit light in midfield, as was going to be exposed. But yeah, I was all right with it. I thought it wasn't bad at all, considering two of our best players are on a suspension. I was quite happy with that.
I mean, you say that, mate. I'm going to kick in here kind of to start with. That's got to be on Moyes, though, isn't it? That we haven't got the backup and the players to come in now. We've lost, we lose two of our best players. You know, the fact that we then don't have, without being, I don't mean to wish to be rude to, they're not good enough to step in, and that's got to be on Moyes that we haven't signed, the quality backups, if you will, like you say, to replace those. We've lost our two best players. We've decided to go two up top, but like you say, has left us really light in midfield. And again, we're just making the same bloody mistakes as we did before.
I don't know what COYI's got to do to get the game, actually. Okay, he might have upset Moyes, but he's got some pace. And boy, that, Benny just wasn't quick enough on the wing, was he? And I really, really think COYI needs to start, but who knows, eh? And why not put Carer as a holding midfield player? He's played there before. He's played there for Germany. What's wrong with that?
Eastside just said it there, mate, about JWP being in the pivot. And he does need to be more advanced. I mean, we could have put Carer in instead of Alvarez. You could have played 4-1-4-1 again, like we did against Arsenal in some respects.
Yeah.
But it just seems to be the same old. And I'll be honest, it's driving me crazy.
I agree. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, Eastside, we'll talk about Moyes' future at the end. I don't want to seem like I'm ignoring you, so I have put your comment up as well, but we'll talk about that later on if you don't mind. And yeah, I agree. I thought Benny had a decent game as well, to be honest. And as usual, he was the scapegoat.
But struggled to beat his players.
But you move him into the 10. You move him into the 10.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm in agreement.
Yeah,
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, if you want him in the team, you can't put him on the wing because he struggles for pace. He can't get past his players. He needs to be moved into a 10. And if you're not going to use him like that, there's no point in keeping him.
Yeah. So there was an incident before the goal. I'm going to move it on now. But with Jensen, I don't know whether you saw that, Steve. It was a deliberate yellow card. It was in the first 2 or 3 minutes. We were breaking away. And literally, Duke, it was the most deliberatest foul you'll ever see in your life. He just literally took him out. Didn't want him to run. This is
Didn't get a card, no?
No, because they're too early. Only his 3rd Premier League game, remember, this referee. And Jensen, I counted on 4 other tackles yesterday.
I thought that was woeful, actually.
Yeah. That's my little rant. I'm not on Mikel Arteta. I'm not going to release a statement or anything like that. But no, I just wanted to do my ag because if he gets a yellow card, he's their central midfield player. Totally different game after 2 minutes. Can't make any challenges. And that's what cost us with Emerson getting his card. He couldn't make no challenges. That's the problem.
Yeah. Emerson.
So, you can't have one rule for one and not for another. But we'll get onto this goal. Obviously, Mopé, 45 games. Last goal was against us at Goodison Park last year for Everton. You couldn't. You knew it was written, couldn't you? You knew it.
It's just us, mate. What you do.
And it's a mad situation. The defensive. Why is that no one calling for that and just let the ball go out with Souček doing that shitty header, which then Mopé scored the goal, which unfortunately was.
I looked at it as it was in play, and I thought, okay, why on earth didn't someone call and just let it go over so he could let it go? Because as far from what I saw, Souček knew there was somebody behind him. He didn't really. I don't think he knew whether it was a West Ham or Brentford player. So he's got to try and do something to keep it safe. The fact that he didn't is neither here nor there, but it was a Gerd behind him. And again, it often seems to be a Gerd has got poor communication. A Gerd should be screaming at Souček to leave that, in my opinion. Poor header by Souček, don't misunderstand me. But nevertheless.
I'll quickly reply to that. I'll reply to that on Duke's behalf. You can go and find Gatesy on Twitter. He's on another YouTube channel. Quite simple.
I did reach out to Snazzy when things went sideways. He's not replying. He's not interested in having a conversation with either with any of the 3 of us. Andy was at an event with him the other night. Other than a kind of disdainful smirk on his face that he gave Andy, didn't even attempt to make contact with him. Used to talk to Steve, didn't he? Steve used to talk to you every week, every home game when you used to, you sit about 30 seats in front of him on the same stand, and he's not even tried to speak to you, has he, since everything went.
To be fair, I've only been once this season, so.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, but again, just where I'm at. So the answer is no. He has gone off and made his own YouTube channel. He is making several appearances across other channels at the moment. So if anyone's interested in what he's doing, you can go find him. That's where I'm at on that one.
And we're still here. We're still standing.
We're still going. Go on, the Forged.
I think the sad thing was we sort of did this to give him a break so he could come back.
And look at what happened. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's forget about that. Sorry, just quickly. He was, as I say, he's been on the other channels and he's been doing the rounds. So good luck to him.
Yeah, wish him well.
No, I'm done.
Yeah. With this comment as well here, time to drop Areola doesn't communicate. This has been causing a lot of stir on Twitter. I think a lot of people are getting involved in that. But did Fabianski communicate? I don't want to sound like very horror. I don't want to get into a debate of the goal. I think that could be our own show, a battle of the number ones. But Fab was a good shot stopper. He's getting on, so he weren't getting down to shots. His distribution shocking, and that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I don't want to get into too much of a debate, but I understand what you're saying, like with the communicate. But it's all good having communication, but if you're letting the ball in the net, still, it don't make a difference. But I understand your view, Eastside. I'm not saying you're wrong. That's just my opinion. I'm fighting back and counting back on it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's go back to the game. It's frustrating, you know. We saw what we're capable of on Wednesday night in the game against Arsenal. High press, being up higher up the pitch and not defending areas of the pitch when players walk into it. And again,
I know that fine, handsome chap who's just put a comment up.
Oh,
I don't know. Who is it?
That could be my boy, couldn't it? He's currently on a bus coming. He's spent the weekend with his mate at Nottingham University, and he's currently on one of the buses coming home.
Oh God,
that'll be good.
So I've got to pick him up about 8.
Yeah, I'm only messing, James. I'm only messing.
No, I mean, like I say, we saw what we're capable of. We saw how we're capable of it, and again, we go 1-0 down. Andy Mopai. I mean, I went to watch one of our local sides playing a local derby.
Did they win?
They did. They beat Catford. They beat Forest Hill in the Catford Classico 2-0. We're down to 10 men for about 20 minutes. But they got the win. And I was there with I was there with a West Ham fan, mate of mine, and we were checking our phones and everything's going off. And we get the nod that they've gone and scored, and we just laughed when we saw it was Mopai. Like, it was embarrassing,
Yeah.
But then, we all know what happens. Steve, Andy, you've got some bits on there, yeah?
Mopai. One thing what I'm going to say is he's made Antonio shit cross into potentially one of the goals of the season. And look at that. Look at that angle. It's so far behind him. And I've said it, when Bowen scored that goal at Brighton, if Salah or Messi scores that goal, what Kudus does there would be a global appreciation. But because he plays for West Ham, it's all gone under the radar.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's one of the best goals I've seen in the West Ham shirt. That's up there with Canio for me.
I'd say it's about a good 2 foot behind him. It's a shit cross, and and to see him actually do what he did, obviously with the with like you say, shit cross, stunning, absolutely stunning, world class finish from a world class player.
Yeah.
I just love that celebration. That is pure taking the piss as well.
I'll tell you what,
that as well. That
reminds me. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a quick story. When I used to play 5-a-side, at Goals Football Centres, that used to be my celebration. I used to score a goal and I used to run and sit on the boards up where the nets are for about 2 or 3 seconds and then jump off. And I used to get so much. I used to get kicked the shit out of after I'd done it because obviously, like you say, it's taking the piss. But yeah,
would you be able to do that now? Climb up onto the.
I tell you what, if I tried to sit on the 5 boards, we'd collapse.
I might put it
No,
back.
I'm more concerned with how much it must hurt the arse, because even when you go running into the ball, jumping up to it must hurt jumping back onto it.
It's a long time since I played football. I didn't score many goals because I was always in defence, but you know, and our celebrations were good grief. We've got a goal. Nobody expected that.
Oh, I didn't even watch that. No, they didn't even talk about the goal on Match of the Day. Well, I'm not fucking surprised.
It's embarrassing. I mean, listen, we've got a good side, and they still fucking ignore us. We won a European trophy last year, and they still fucking ignore us. It's just embarrassing. It's painful, but it is what it is. A little bit of look into that, man. Anyway, carry on, my man.
Obviously, I don't know anyone who doesn't know. I said it before the game on my little preview. I said 2-1, Bowen and Kudus to score. And for people who don't know, I've done a bet. I got it 16-1 for Bowen and Kudus both to score any time. And then a few minutes later, this man scored.
Yes.
What a finish that was. Kudus done well to the instinct of the longer they were looking at it, I was like, they were going to disallow this, to be perfectly honest. But congratulations. The legend, of course, Jared Bowen, the first player to score in the first 6 Premier League away games, takes over Mr. Thierry Henry. And I think, I can't remember who the other one was who was joint with him, but congratulations, Mr. Jared Bowen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
sorry, did you say? Sorry, Steve. Look, imagine if he'd done that at Spurs away.
Mate, he does that at Spurs away. He will forever be in my West Ham 11. I tell you.
Oh, I mean that will be there with Lanzini's goal, won't it?
Yeah.
And Ravel's.
Yeah, and Ravel's.
You know.
Yeah. But you know, a 2-1 up, I am pleasantly surprised because I thought once we'd gone 1 down, I thought it was all going to be one-way traffic. So 2-1 up. Fantastic. And then what do? We sit off them and let them back into the game.
Yeah, and then everyone who don't want to see it, this will be on your screen for probably the next 30 seconds. I'll go to 30 seconds. Obviously, we fighted a bit of pressure, and then fantastic counter-attacking. Kudus plays the ball to Jared Bowen. He squares the ball across for Saïd Benrahma, and then this happens.
And Antonio gets in the way. That goes in, we win.
Yeah. Look at his face, though. Look, he's like happy. He thinks he's scored already.
Do you want to know something? So, 2 days ago, this thing on the screen with Collins reignited his bets with Callum Wilson as to who scores more goals this season, right? You add that to this moment here.
Oh, yes.
And he comes out of this right now fucking awful, Antonio. He looks like a greedy bastard. You know, I'm not being funny. Benny calls for it, and you know Benny calls for it because of the reaction that Benny has.
I couldn't find another better angle. I tried to freeze it, but it looked. But obviously, you can see Benny there. Look, you can see his angle ready to shoot. I'm sorry, I do apologise for the. This is the best angle I could rush up and do it. But yeah, it's an absolute disgrace.
East side has just said this, that Benny called Antonio a wanker in French, which I've got all the time in the world for. What's the story about Antonio's personal life troubles? I've not seen anything about that, boys.
Right. So apparently his wife or girlfriend, she's a top barrister as well. A top barrister, one of the best in Britain, I've got told. He got caught playing away and she's left him and took the kids away from him. Moved back up north.
Well, if that's true, then
Yeah.
That's what it is. I'll be honest with you, Irons. I've not seen.
That's. I'm
the
not
video
saying I've
from
heard that.
yesterday.
This is what I've heard. I'm not saying
Well,
this is
no,
but this is the.
listen, if he's true and she has, then he's got no one else to blame but himself.
Yeah.
But coming away from that, this was a shocking decision by Antonio, Steve. When it this puts us 3-1 up, as you said. I think we go on and win the game.
Yeah.
Why does he feel the need to get involved in that moment? Like I say, Benny called for it. So why has he got involved there, Steve?
Who knows what goes through his head? It's a striker's instinct to try and score a goal, but that's not team playing. Sorry, Miggy, but you're playing in the team here. You put the team first, not your ego. Yeah. And I was absolutely livid when I saw that. You know me, I don't get cross about very much, but I thought, oh, come on. And at the time, I thought, that's going to cost us the game. And lo and behold, I think it did.
So it's your fault then?
What, me? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As with the Crimean War, all sorts of things, all down to me, But no,
so then...
it was just inconceivable, that moment of play. And Benny's reaction said it all. Benny was absolutely spitting feathers, and I don't blame him. And
yeah.
If I'd been the manager, I'd have roasted him alive at half time.
Yeah. We'll move on to this absolute shocking decision for the own goal. Aguerd gave away the corner stupidly anyway, the missed control, and then for us to switch off and make this mistake as well, which is I don't know why he was trying to head it over the bar. He should have just headed it where it came from, and then we would have been more sitting back. But I'll give him a bit of credit. I thought he did do okay yesterday, though, as well. I know he scored the own goal.
I thought he played well.
I thought he done okay. So I can't. He's very. Yeah, he's. I think he'll look, but I think he'll be better in a free. If I'm being honest, I'd love to see Zuma, Aguerd, and both of them as a free, because Aguerd and Mavropanos, they're both ball playing centre backs, and when you've got any extra player there, you can afford to do that. And I think they could jump into midfield and step up. But yeah, I thought he was unlucky. But in hindsight, if we draw the game, you could probably just put your hands up and be like, yeah, it's one of them things. The fact we've lost the game, we've got to dig it out more than what I think.
See, I'd have Karen over Aguerd at the moment. I think Aguerd's been awful.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I think it's. I don't want to be. I don't want to do kind of gut check reactions. You know what I mean? I want to try and. I do believe that we can figure it out as we are.
Singleton's right as well, though. Stop the crosses coming in. We switched off on the short corner again, as well. Like it's frustrating. The thing is, we have got very good players. Like we've just proved. I think we've got the fourth worst defense in the league, and we've still got 14 points or whatever it is. It just proves that we can score. We scored 2 again yesterday. If we could. And the thing is, what's more frustrating about it is Moyes is known for his defensive tactics, keep it tight, and get counter-attacking, and we're conceding more goals but scoring. So it's like it's mad, really.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put it out there now. I'm very grateful for what Moyes has done, but he's reached his ceiling. It's gone stale.
Yeah.
Now, if you want a successful season, you got to act. It's got to be done well. I don't think he should have bad treatment because he's done a lot for us. But you can see the ideas are stale. Those players are playing, and they're bored with it.
Yeah. And then a few minutes later, when you think it couldn't get any worse,
it does.
Collins, what a header though! Sorry, I've got to say it. What a header! Like, it's their record signing. They signed from Wolves. I think we were even linked with him in the summer before he made the move. I thought he was a very good player, young, proven centre back who we were crying out for. And I thought it'll be good. But yeah, obviously you see Aguerd, he jumps in there again between Aguerd and Souček, but it's just another defensive mistake, and you can't. I know everyone's saying you've got to blame. You can't blame Moyes for these defensive mistakes, though. Like, this is just players just not switching on, like, as well.
Yeah, I see where you're coming, but the thing is, it also comes down to the coaching side of it,
Yeah,
and
of course.
and the tactical setup. Like, if you're not, I suppose, if you're not prepared, or you don't set up in a right way, then you are going to be in a situation where you do overlook things. You're not going to see everything. But I think it's funny that it's the same stuff over and over again. And it's irritating the shit out of me.
I tell you one thing that doesn't help our defence. Because we play what is now called a low block, used to be parking the bus, whatever it is. Our defenders are defending a lot. And with that much defending to do, they're going to make mistakes and it's going to be magnified.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen. We had players out there yesterday that could have held on to the ball and actually taken some pressure off the defence, but we didn't. Yeah, and that is part of the problem.
Yeah, I agree, A-side. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that we've made a few defensive mistakes, which got, like, if that ball goes out for a throw-in instead of a corner, that own goal might not happen. That's all I'm saying. Like, some individual mistakes. At the end of the day, Moyes only tells once the players are on the pitch, it's down to them as well. But I'm not saying I'm Moyes in or anything. I'm just covering both sides of it. But yeah, just when you think we're chasing the game, obviously, I think Steve's called it. I think we've all called it. We'd love to see Mubama or Cornet, someone in the give them a chance to taste the game, and then we bring on this man in 31 minutes, makes 5 touches. I think he's been our best signing since Mido.
Yeah. Well, let's face it, we were slaughtering Souček last season and he was doing better than that. And you can have all the excuses you like. No, our system doesn't suit him at all.
Yeah.
But for goodness sake, I think the interesting thing is the stat is this is the longest run Danny Ings has been on without a goal.
22 games.
Yeah. So, who is it then? Where's the problem? Not Danny Ings, I would suggest.
Well, it's a style of play. Listen, he was a gift to David Moyes to placate him after the signings of Kudus and Alvarez. Or no, he came in before, didn't he? Sorry, he came in January. He was a gift. He was a gift, and it really is just quite simple. He's not on. So Peter's just come in the chat, and Peter said Ings is just happy to be getting his 120k a week and his air grand back. He's not on anywhere near 120 grand. Sean Whetstone made the comment that he's not on anywhere near 120 grand. Sullivan wouldn't authorize 120 grand a week, so he's not on 120. He's probably on he's probably on 100. All right, it's a big deal, but it's certainly not 120 grand. In the same way that we paid 38 million for Nikola Vlasic. We didn't pay 38 million.
No,
for Nikola Vlasic. We actually paid 18, and then the rest was going to be add-ons, which I don't think we've done anything with. So it's there's a lot of what goes out, comes back, goes on, and we don't all know the truth. But when you've got someone like Sean Whetstone that comes out and says, and we know he's got a relatively decent
contact
inside the club, AB, that it's if he when he speaks, you can probably guarantee. I think Yeah, well, listen, he's not overly popular at the moment for reasons that we all discussed before we came live. Not going to discuss it now. But he's not the player, Danny Ings, that we need. You know, we keep persevering. I've said it before. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. But if you're going to play the same sort of football and use the same players that you know can't work in that formation, it's embarrassing. And yeah, Pete, it's 100k is peanuts. I'd like 100,000 peanuts, please.
I wouldn't mind that a year, Pete. You know, being retired, that'd be a hell of a lot of money a year.
Yeah.
Good
So
grief.
we'll move on to my tweet. Kind of for anyone who's on social media, it made some quite a lot of views on that. But I just wanted to give some stats about our two young strikers. Obviously, for a reminder, he got a goal. Well, one and a half, because the other one got disallowed in the Conference League, didn't it, last year? But he did get his first goal for club. This is obviously Divine Mabama. This is his stats for the club since 2020-21 season. He's played 94 games, 55 goals, 9 assists, including a conference goal and goals in the FA Youth Final. I know it's not first-team football, but he needs to be given a chance. He needs to be given a chance. Like, his movement, he's got the size of him. He's massive. Like, he's got the physique. I think he needs to be given a chance. What about you guys? Like, I know we say it pretty much all the time, but
he's got the physique to do and the style to do the Antonio role that Antonio does for us. The strong holding up play. And I would love to see him start. The problem is that we're not going to be playing the same way next season.
No.
The question is he going to be as invaluable to us next season without Moyes as he would be with Moyes? There's that.
He's adaptable. From what I've seen,
he can be still young enough, Steve, but it's just a wonder. What is going on in Lewisham today?
Well, I mean, again, on
they're off to get a ambulance for Arteta because he's probably fainted with another statement about VAR. Probably it's just taking a shortcut for.
Yeah, I listening to Sean Whitson on Hammer's Chat. He was saying that the priority in January is a striker. You know, Tim's going to go out and get us a striker, and then Tim gets us a quality striker, or at least somebody competent enough not to do what Antonio did yesterday. The big question will then come: will Moyes play him, or will he stick with Antonio? And
this is going to be the problem, isn't it, Steve? You know, he's already been a bit of an arse when it comes to what's going on with players that have been signed. Is he going to continue to be the arse? You know what I mean?
And then this is the other one as well. Sorry, Steve, to interrupt. Because people in the comments are saying about Marshall, Callum Marshall. This is his stats. So he signed the season after. He's played 59 games for the club, 45 goals and 8 assists. He's not made a single appearance yet for the first team, but this is for the under-23s and under-18. And he's got 1 goal for Northern Ireland's first team as well, and he had 1 chalked off as well. So the fact that he's playing for Northern Ireland as well, above any other strikers getting in their squad, I'd love to see him given a chance as well. He's got ridiculous pace as well. Ridiculous pace.
He's another one. What's his stats this season, Andy? Something like 11 goals. 18.
I think it's like 9 appearances, like 13 goals or something. 1 second, mate.
I actually think it's something like 17 goal involvements.
1 second, man.
Thing is, he does. I don't mean to diminish what he's achieved at all, but he does look a lot less physically strong than Mbama. And that might be where he comes up short in the first team, because he's going to be up against big blokes.
But he's got the pace to get around them too.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Jermaine Defoe,
No,
Steve, you know.
Yeah, true.
Defoe did it.
So this
Bournemouth.
Yeah, so this season he's played 8 appearances, 13 goals and 2 assists.
There you go.
He got 2 yesterday in our 4-0 victory against Liverpool as well.
Just give him 10 minutes at the end of the game. I mean, the game against Villa was done the other day. He could have bought one with Barmer.
Yeah.
Why not? 10 minutes game time for the lad. Shows him that he can get in the squad, you know?
What gets me, it's not that we've lost, it's the manner of the defeats. You know, we could have had, if we carried on, we could have won yesterday. We didn't. You know, second half, I don't know what we were doing. Villa, we just rolled over. Everton, we were clueless. and I was watching it yesterday and I was just sick to death of watching the same old. Let's try. I can't put into words how inevitable yesterday's result was, even when we were 2-1 up, and how predictable we were within that game. Yeah, it was a really boring watch, particularly the second half. It was only a matter of time till they equalised. And once it equalised, it was only a matter of time till they got the winner.
What does he do at half time when these guys go in? Other than Arsenal the other day, where we did it, we're one of the worst for conceding goals in the first 10 minutes of the second half in the Premier League. So what is it he does? The players come in, it's like he clicks his fingers and he hypnotises the players to be shit. You will be shit now in the second half. Clicks his fingers, they go out in the shit.
My guess would be he would say, right, keep this tight, we're doing okay. And he makes them nervous about it. Rather than saying, right, you're on top here, go and carry on being on top.
Yeah.
You see, because if you're on top, you want that to continue. You do not want to suddenly go all defensive because it was being successful what you were doing before. But the way Moyes plays is what we have, we keep. And if he says, if that's the halftime message, keep it tight, do this, do that, then, you know, that you've got to motivate them to be positive because that is a good team we've got. And they come out like rabbits into headlights. And that's what happens at half time.
Yeah, it's a sad part, but yeah. Your footballers go do.
But I think the problem is I can see us beating Olympiacos. I know they beat us last week. I think we'll have enough. I think he's learnt his lesson. But the big one for me is obviously Forest beating flipping Villa today, 2-0. I know Villa weren't at the races, but this is Villa, Nottingham Forest is a must win. If he doesn't win that, I think he is gone. I think he would be gone.
No, he's not. No, that's the problem. Everybody and his cat can see that Moyes' time has run out of the club. Not because I think Moyes is definitely a bad manager. It's because I actually think it's just run its course, as things do in jobs. But our board won't sack him. I just will not get rid of him until it becomes genuinely really desperate. They'll keep on hoping he'll turn it round. And that's what gets me. You know, you can do it well, you can do it with some class, but just say we need to move on. We've spent 450 million and we're getting this. We need somebody who can take the team on, the quality of players we've got onto the next level.
If we're going to do it, we have to do it at Forest because obviously there's an international break. Now's the time to do it. If you're going to sack him, you have to do it now. Then you've got 2 weeks because, as Peter's just said, Burnley have lost every single home game this season, and that's who we've got after Forest. So you know what's going to happen. You know what's happening. You know what's happening.
Personally, if it was me, I'd pull the trigger now. I know you know how much a big Moyes fan I've been over the years, but it's a case now of me saying, look, yeah, that's true, Eastside. I agree with that. The thing is now, it's just stale. It's ended, and we need to put it to an end and freshen things up. That's just my opinion, and I think Eastside makes a very good point there that it's different under Tim. Yeah, but the only thing I would say is, hi Mandy, you've got to get the board's agreement.
Yeah.
I will say there's a lot of chat about this whole Steiden getting the ump with Moyes. This is how it's going to be. If not, fuck off. There's a lot of the rumours that Heitinger took charge of the tactics and stuff against Arsenal. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I'm not going to make a comment on it without knowing. What I will say is Steiden was brought in for a reason. We know that Moyes' contract is up at the end of the season. So at the end of the day, you know, it's not going to be too much of a problem to sack him. You know what I mean? So I would actually like to see the board have a set of bollocks. You got to bear in mind it is the board now because Sullivan doesn't have overall control.
Yeah, that's true.
So he has to now talk to the board. So it's not like he can turn around and say, well, I want to keep him. My say is final. It's not going to be like that. So we might see a change coming up. We might see that change coming up sooner rather than later.
Yeah. I tell you what, I was thinking about something. Yeah, I do think occasionally about something earlier on. You know these shares Vanessa Gold selling?
Yeah.
Or if Steiden buys them?
I don't know whether
That'd be
he's got the cash.
interesting.
Well, if he's got a cash,
No.
it'll be a significant amount of money, isn't it?
No, but if Steiden buys them, he'll be buying them in proxy for someone else. I don't think it's likely. I was just wondering.
See, everyone's talking about Kaczynski. If Kaczynski wants it that much, he would have paid for it ages ago. I think he's just in there. He's probably made 100 million from what he's put in.
Yeah.
Like what his shares are worth. Obviously, you've got Trip Smith who only owns 8%. Obviously, I think the gold what's gold like 18% now or something. So, like when you think about it, it's not actually. If Kaczynski wanted it that much, he would have bought it ages ago.
Oh, yeah. Kaczynski's not going to buy the club. No. It's an investment for Kaczynski. I'm not saying
and his wife has got more money than what he's got.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's not exactly worried about the cost of living crisis, is he?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, listen, we I think the frustrating thing is going back to the game. We came in on such a high off the back of the Arsenal result. I was blindsided by it. The fact that we're going to come out of yesterday's game with a defeat. I kind of got caught up on the hype train. We're back. This is good stuff. If he carries on this, came out second half and we just looked abject. We looked defeated already before we'd even kicked the ball, and that's got to be down to Moyes. Moyes is obviously saying the wrong things in the changing room at half time. You're going to start to wrap it up, boys. We've been here, 45 minutes. I'll be honest with you, Eastside. I thought it was banging. I thought that was going to be the way we saw it going forward. Lo and behold, it's not. We've got Olympiacos on Thursday. We've got Forest on Sunday. If I'm honest, if he loses those two, I think he's gone. I really think he's gone if we lose both of those games.
We won't lose to Olympiacos, that's the thing.
Mate, I didn't think we'd lose to Olympiacos last time, so I'm not even going to make that comment, to be honest. You know, I am concerned that he tries to do the same thing. You know, Moyes, Antonio and Ings, Souček in a pivot on his, you know, it just doesn't work for me. And I think now, before I actually start to hate Moyes, now's the time to go, because I don't want to lose that thank you feeling for winning the trophy.
No, it's not Moyes I will get annoyed with. It's the board for not acting. You know?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
You know, you can't blame Moyes if they leave him in there and say, right, go and do your job, and that's the way he does it. Then that's not Moyes' fault as such. He might not be doing it well, but that's how he sees it playing out. The point is, the board leave him there and let him do it.
Yeah.
Andy, any last words from you? Then I'll say we'll wrap it up. We've covered the game.
No.
Made our thoughts clear.
No. Tune in tomorrow, everyone. I've got some. I'm going to do some homework on potential outcomes of what could happen if Moyes does go. So that'll be discussed on the Headquarters show tomorrow. So make sure you tune in tomorrow for that.
Yeah, that's going live at 8 o'clock. We've got that already set up and scheduled. That's on the other channel, Forge from Iron Extra Time. So jump over there. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon, both channels, so you are notified when we put out any of this content. I will tell you now, and I'm going to surprise the boys because I haven't discussed this with them, so this is going to be news to them as well. So we got, including today, I think we've got 7 videos in 8 days. So we got today's one, we got the preview, we got the extra time show tomorrow, we got the preview and review of Olympiacos. We've got the preview and the review of the Forest game, and obviously the extra time headquarters show next Monday as well. At that point, we will be on an international break. So keep an eye out in about 10 days' time, because there will be an episode over on the extra time channel. We're going to throw you a little cheeky international break hammer time.
Ooh.
We're going to do a hammer time show in the international break. So keep an eye out for that, because myself and Andy had a load of fun doing those when we had them on this channel 2 years ago now, I think it was. So keep an eye out for that, because we're going to bring that back with Steve joining the band of characters that we've had on Hammer Time. So make sure you subscribe, keep an eye on it. I don't think I've got anything else to say. There's the extra time channel. MC Hammer in trousers. Maybe. Steve, any last words from you?
No, just that if one person who has been watching this doesn't like it, he's not getting dinner tonight.
Well, he's on the bus. You can just don't go pick him up. It's fine. East Side says Claret Blues are live tonight. Will I be tuning in? Probably not. I've got to do a bit more work in the pub this evening, so I might catch that tomorrow morning when I'm doing some cleaning.
I'm the same. I'm the same. I'm gonna spend some time with the girlfriend, because the next few days are going to be a bit hectic doing shows. So you've got to keep them in the good books.
Got to keep them happy, indeed. Boys, thank you very much for joining me.
No.
It's always tough to talk about a loss, especially when we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory like we did. Even going in 2-1 at half time, I wasn't overly confident that it was going to stay that way. As we know, it didn't. We lost. The bees stung us again. Chaps, thank you very much, and we shall see you all on Forge from Iron Extra Time tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Cheers, boys.
Thank you
Right.
very much.
Uh huh.